Panther fans. So I got Stu with me again today. We're going to talk a little bit of expansion draft. We're going to talk a lot about the Panthers, but Stu has got a special guest with him. Stu, take it away, bud.
Well, we're real fortunate to have this guy come on. I've known George Richards a really long time. We've become good friends. We, just like you and I, we chat a lot, and he's the best, in my opinion, the best beat writer in the league. And he's got a website, FloridaHockeyNow.com. I love reading his articles. He started out with the Miami Herald, then he left to go to Columbus, then he came back, worked for the Atlantic, but he's got this website now, and if you guys are not subscribing, you're missing out on some really good stuff. So like I said, we're real fortunate, and I appreciate, George, you coming out and doing this for us.
Well, hello there, Stu. Hello there, Mr. Fluffy. What's going on, boys?
Hey, buddy. How you doing, buddy? I appreciate you doing this. Big thanks. All right.
Everybody's wearing a hat. I'll wear a hat.
Everybody's wearing a hat. Well, nobody has any hair, right? There you go. All right. So, well, I know you're a busy man, so we'll just jump right into it. I really appreciate you coming on. The first question I have for you is, being a journalist yourself, what was it like for you yesterday when you were seeing everybody giving Saravalli such a hard time about leaking everything? And then clearly, obviously, most journalists, if they're in a position of having that kind of information, they're pretty much going to go for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's the NHL's fault. If you're going to have teams be told at 10 a.m., here's who your team's taking, this is who you're losing, and then you don't have then you have a TV show 8 hours, 12 hours later, that's your fault. That's
right.
your fault.
Right.
That's the NHL's fault, as usual. If they don't want it leaked out, then,
right.
Do the thing automatically. At 8 o'clock at night, the Florida Panthers get told Chris Drieger's gone, and that's that. And they get it announced.
Yeah.
So whatever. It happened in Vegas too. I mean, we all knew who was going before the TV show. Big deal. I think a lot of people were watching the TV show, just to see the backgrounds and all that and who the special guests were. They told us who those people were too, so it wasn't like a big surprise when Sean Kemp showed up. So
exactly.
Whatever. I
actually missed it last night, believe it or not, and I heard it sucked, so I guess I didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. I mean, but it was a made-for-TV event. It was made for the Seattle people to celebrate their new team. It wasn't for us. It wasn't for the Edmonton Oilers, who we going to lose. It was for Seattle. I mean, and it's it's kind of like NBC. They don't want anybody to know who won the track meet because they want to show it 12 hours. At the Olympics, they want to show it 12 hours later. Well, in this day and age, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's
a world of breaking news. When something's news, it's going to get broken, and you're just not going to see that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, I should have known better. I had a 2-hour live stream planned, which I did do, but the entire 2 hours was basically just everybody talking. We ended up talking amusement park rides by the end of the draft.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. That's a good one.
Exactly. All right, so a couple of Panther questions I have for you, and
let me just try and say,
go ahead.
We were a two-time winner last night. Obviously, Drieger
went.
Sorry to see him go, but Seattle took Yanni Gorda away from our division. Yeah. He was becoming a Panther killer. I'm glad to see him gone.
Yeah, we were kind of hoping. And that leads me to the whole thing with Vetrano and Strawman. And George, you tell me what you can tell me. Obviously, I don't want you to ruin your own content too. But what can you tell us about? I mean, there was all these rumors about the Vetrano Strawman deals. Is everything pretty much done now and dead? No,
I don't think so. I think there's plenty of time for moves to be made. I mean, that was an expansion draft thing, and we still don't know what the side deals that were made. As of this, this recording, that hasn't come out. So, No, Bill Zito's still making a lot of moves. We haven't even, the draft is tomorrow. I mean,
Right,
there's
right.
still a lot of moves to be made. There's still a lot of teams that have salary cap concerns.
Yep.
I think there's still going to be a lot of trades, a lot of moves around the league, and teams are desperate to get rid of some contracts because with the flat cap for this year and next, some bills are becoming due, and teams are getting desperate to move some players. So, and I don't think that what we saw last night with the Seattle Kraken, that's going to be, their team. They're still going to make some moves. So, they've still got a ton of cap space. Arizona's got cap space. Ottawa's got cap space. As far as the Panthers go, unless Bill Zito's got a really big deal cooking, and then you're going to combine Frank Vetrano's salary with Anton Stroman's salary, that gives you $8 million in the cap. That means a big move maybe coming. But other than that, why would you trade Frank Vetrano? He only makes $2.5 million. He's going to get between 18 and 25 goals.
Yep.
I'd rather just keep that for the price.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the Strawman thing, the thing with Strawman is just that he's only got the one more year anyway. Yeah. So, and when he came into the playoffs last year with fresh legs, he was serviceable. He certainly looked.
He was fine. He was one of your better defensemen in the playoffs. But Bill Zito, he looked at the players that were making $1.5 million, $2 million last year, and said, "I can replace them with better players for that money." You got to think that looking at $5.5 million of Anton Stroman, he knows he can replace that production because Anton Stroman, this is, he's 34, 35.
Right.
What's he going to give you next year? He's going to give you 45, 50 games.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's a lot of money for a 7.
It's a lot of money for what he's going to give you. But he is serviceable and he'll be fine when he gets into those games. I have no problem with Anton Stroman whatsoever. But I'm just thinking like Bill Zito, he thinks that for $5.5 million, he can do more than that.
Yeah, I agree. So my next question is about Owen Tippett, who happens to just be, as everybody who watches this channel knows, I'm pounding the ground for Owen Tippett. For 2 months last year, I was yelling at Q, get him in the top 6 with consistent line mates. And when that happened, we saw him do pretty well. Of course, that happened to be helped out with Bennett. So do you get the sense that Tippett's maxed out in the second line, or do you think he'll ever get a shot up top?
Bennett? Playing
Tippett. You think?
Oh yeah. I think Tippett could play. I mean, they had Mason Marchment playing up there, so. But why wouldn't you put Owen Tippett up there with that shot? I mean, he's a poor man's Mike Hoffman, right? He's got a big shot like Hoff. He's better defensively. Right. Going to give you more of that 200-foot game than Hoffman ever did. Well, except for that last month. In 2020, I thought Hoffman played a very good game. But regardless, he hadn't done that before. I think Owen Tippett, the sky's the limit for this kid. He's going to get opportunity. He needs to take advantage of that opportunity, and it looked like he did at times last year. Listen, he was coming off an injury in the AHL. He missed the second half of the AHL season in 2020. Right. With the Panthers in the summer training camp, didn't get a chance to play. This was his first NHL season. I thought it went fine. I think a lot of people were talking, oh, this kid's going to be rookie of the year. He had some high expectations on him, but I think that overall, as the year went on, you could see Tippett getting a lot more comfortable. You could see him playing with a lot more confidence. Yep. And if he continues that, hey, God bless. He's going to be fine.
So that kind of brings me, and then after this question, Stu, if you have any questions, please jump in. But after we're talking about the Tippett thing, kind of brings me to something where it seems like every year Panther fans have one or two rookies coming up, and we've got them all penciled in, and they're going to be the big contributors. Like for years, it was Borgstrom and Tippett were going to come up and take these spots. I did my season preview like 2-3 years ago, and we had Borgstrom penciled in at 2C. So that leads me to Denisenko and Lundell. Do you think fans are putting a little bit too much on either one of those players?
Yeah, probably, because that's what fans do. I think there is realistic thoughts that both players are going to have a big role with the Panthers next year. I think Denisenko, this was his first North American, not only first, NHL, but it was his first year in North America. I mean, the guy's
Yeah.
lived in Russia full life. That's a big change, just getting used to the culture and getting used to everything. Like when Sasha Barkov came, the first thing he did was go get his driver's license. He failed the test, I mean,
Right.
it's stuff that we don't think about because we've lived here our whole lives.
Yeah.
And here are these guys, their lives are being disarray. I think being able to play here and being on the taxi squad for most of that year, I think it's going to be beneficial to Denisenko. Anton Lundell, let's not forget, Sasha Barkov joined the Panthers in 2013. That was a pretty bad Panther team, and he was a fourth-line guy at the beginning.
Right.
Maybe Lundell starts, on the wing, on the third. Who knows what he does, but by the end of the year next year, I think Anton Lundell's going to be doing a lot of good things for the Panthers, and maybe he does it from the beginning, but I don't think too much is being put on his shoulders. I think he's a very confident player. I think he had a very big year in Liga this past season. The Panthers were very high on him, and I think that, I pencil him in at 2C, pencil him in at 3, maybe he's at 4, whatever, and, anywhere you want. I think Bennett will be the 2C to start the season, and maybe Lundell's 3 or 4. It depends if Alex Wenberg comes back. So we'll have to happens, but I think he's going to be a big contributor to the Panthers this season. Maybe not offensively with a bunch of numbers, but I think we're going to say, yeah, this kid looks like he belongs.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, Stu.
Here's my dark horse prediction. Saron Noel.
Listen, Saron Noel, I think, he didn't show a whole lot the few times he's been here, but he's a big kid. He's a very good skater. He's got obviously that size. You notice right away. I think he's 6'4". He's a big kid. I think that he is going to get an opportunity here. This is a big summer for Saron Noel. Needs to fill out a little bit, but he's got good size. He's got good hands. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Saron Noel's going to get an opportunity to make this team out of camp. I still think he's going to start the season in Charlotte. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think he's going to be up here, and I wouldn't be surprised if he played 15, 20 games with the Panthers. And if he's your dark horse, then maybe he plays a lot more than that. But he's going to get the opportunity.
Yeah, George, remember in development camp, obviously you can't miss the guy. He's so big. Yeah. But you're right. It might take a year or two for him to fill out like Huberdeau did. I just don't know if there's room. I mean, you look up and down the roster.
They're not rushing guys. And listen, I mean, that's why they played him last year in Springfield instead of having him they wanted him to play games. They didn't think that being on the taxi squad was going to be beneficial to him. For other players, Denisenko, they thought that it would be better off being here in South Florida, be around the team. With Saron Noel, they wanted him to play. So he got some experience. And again, they're very high on him as well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in camp with him.
Yeah. Now, I tell you, throughout the offseason so far, and I know I've been doing the live streams during the playoff games, everybody's asking me that all these big men. Are we going to get Landeskog? Are we going to get Lane? And I keep telling everybody, from my position, all the Panthers really needed to do was addition by subtraction. And obviously we let Yandel go, and we're going to have to eat that money basically next season, not so much this year. The thing that kind of surprised a few people was Wenberg, and you touched on it in terms of, I guess that they're kind of figuring Wenberg's sort of an insurance policy on Lundell, because, I mean, he wasn't bad, but I don't know. It seems to me like right. Well, he wasn't bad. It's just we're looking at goal scoring wise as a pure goal scorer. I think, especially towards the end of the season, the playoffs, we kind of needed more production out of that third line. When Vetrano gets cold, we'll put it that way.
Well, I don't know. I think that Alex Wenberg is a very solid defensive player. He always has been. He was being paid in Columbus to be a 20-goal, 25-goal scorer. He's never been that. I think last year was a career high for Alex Wenberg in goals, and he only played 56 games because of the pandemic. by all accounts, Alex Wenberg had a career season last year with the Panthers. He fit right in. He plays the kind of game the Panthers want. Obviously, Joel Quenneville has a lot of faith in him. He's a veteran guy who's played in all situations during his career. He was a bottom six guy in Columbus. He started this year as the second line center.
Right.
And that probably wasn't a good fit. It just wasn't. I think you saw Jonathan Huberdeau struggling a little bit because, Alex Wenberg's not the facilitator that Huberdeau is. But when you put Wenberg down on the third or the fourth line, pretty good. And that's going to be a problem in signing Wenberg, I think, because he did put up so many goals. Maybe he thinks he's worth more on the open market. He's going to find out that he isn't, but people know, hey, he was put in a good spot. He had he had a hat trick. He was playing with Huberdeau. He was benefiting from playing with Huberdeau more than Huberdeau was benefiting playing with. But I think at the right price, he's a good teammate. He's a guy that Bill Zito really likes.
Okay.
And he's
good on the PK.
He's more than an insurance policy. If Alex Wenberg's on your team, he's playing.
Gotcha. Well, I know you're busy, so I'm gonna just give you one more thing here, and then I'll let you go unless Stu has something for you. And this is the tough question for everybody. Do you get the sense that we're going to? What I've been feeling, or at least wanting to happen, is come training camp that Q is just going to put Bobrovsky and Knight out there and say, somebody take the spot and just have an even competition? Or do you think we'll have a situation where, even though, like last year, Drieger's numbers were so much better for most of the year and Bob was still getting the starts? Do you have any sense there whatsoever?
Well, Bob was still getting the wins too. Panthers played pretty good with Sergei Bobrovsky in goal for most of his starts. He was giving up 3-4 goals, but a lot of times he had a 5-2 lead and, he gave up a couple and made it closer than it should have been.
That's true.
But Sergei Bobrovsky was much better last year and Florida's improved defense helped that a lot too, because Bob's first year, he didn't get a lot of help. Last year he did. His numbers were better, but they should have been better. I don't know if they're just going to roll the puck out and say, go get it, boys. I think that, they know that Sergei Bobrovsky is a 2-time Vezina winner. He's a veteran guy. I think you've seen goalies throughout time sometimes struggle and come right back. And there's plenty of opportunity for Sergei Bobrovsky to not only be what he was before, but maybe be even better. So goalies can surprise you. Once you get on a hot streak and maybe you put a good week together, that turns into a second week, and all of a sudden you've had a great month and it turns into a fantastic season. Goalies are weird that way, and it goes in reverse. Bad couple games, and all of a sudden your season's in a tailspin. So it'll be interesting to see how Bob comes out. He's always always in his career. The first month is the worst. I would expect to see Spencer Knight maybe getting more starts early on, but then Bob gets back into the mix and we see where it goes from there. Okay.
I appreciate that. All right, Stu, you got anything for your buddy?
Yeah, well, just my comment on that. I think having, Bob, again, he's been around a long time. He's a professional. He's got ego. He wants to be number one. And I think if Knight plays the way he did and the way we expect him to, Bob's not going to just sit back and say, oh, he took my job. I think he's going to just, work hard to, keep that number one. So that's it on that. George, you just finished a call with Zito. Do you have anything that
He didn't say a whole lot. We asked him about a few things. We asked, he was asked about the RFAs. We're talking to their agent. We asked him about the UFAs. We're talking to their agent. So, no real news came out of it. We talked a little bit about the draft that's coming up on Friday. They're going to take the best player available. So,
right.
Nothing really.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't really know how strong a draft this is.
They do either.
Big
Right.
question with the players that we have now defensively. What's your assessment on our defense?
Well, right now it's incomplete. I think you're going to see some additions the offseason rolls on. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Panthers add a player or two. They were lucky that, Seattle took Chris Drieger. That way you were able to keep Gudis. Now you've got Marcus Nudavaro, who didn't have a very good season all told last year. Maybe you move him, maybe you bring him back, and maybe he's got something to prove. He obviously had a rough start to the year. He had the COVID thing, didn't play a lot. Maybe that affected him as the season wore on. It could have just been one of those COVID seasons where, there were some players that just didn't have good years. I'm not just talking about the Panthers. I'm talking about all around the league where players just didn't react well to all the new things. And who knows? So, we've seen, or, Bill Zito has seen Nudavara be a pretty good 3-4 defenseman. Even if he could be a 5-6 guy. The money's fine. You didn't really give anything up for him. So, I think overall you've still got Mackenzie Weegar. You've got Aaron Ekblad, who's coming back from injury. He's going to be fine. We'll see what Strawman camp. We'll see if any of the kids make their way up. We had Riley Stillman get traded to Chicago. That might open up a spot, but we don't have the taxi squad, so it's going to be a 23-man roster, which means 14 forwards. So there's only room for one of the kids probably defensively. Maybe they've signed a free agent for that role. I don't know. So we'll have to wait.
Right. Do you see them looking at Montour? Oh, sorry, Stu.
No, I know George and I had talked about this, and I think Eric, you and I had talked about this. I'm real high on Ryan Suter, and I'd love to have him here.
I think a lot of looking at him too. That's the problem. But
I think, I don't think. I know you told me, George, there's going to be one team that's going to go nuts and offer this guy a 5-year deal or whatever. I don't think if we were going to sign him, we shouldn't go more than 2 years.
No, I don't. So. And a smart team would only offer him 2 years. I mean, he has something left in the tank. He certainly doesn't have 5 years left in the tank. But you're right. There is going to be a team that doesn't. There'll be some team that offers him 4. And I would even think that if you're able to unload something like Strawman, maybe you give him 3 even to get him in here, because then you don't worry about that 3rd year, because that was kind of how the contract was written up. It was written to be, all right, let's see if we can get 2 really good years out of Strawman. 3rd year, we'll see what happens. I think they gave him too much money. I didn't have a problem with the 3-year term, and I wouldn't have. I think with Suter in the same way. If it takes 3 to get him, okay, 4 is way too long.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you know how much I love the left-right combination. I don't like the righty-righty. That's why I thought, you put Forsling with Ekblad or Forsling with Weegar, and you get another left shot. But we shall see.
We shall see. All right, George, I really, really appreciate you doing this, bud. I know this is a busy time for you. You got to get ready for the draft and everything now. So we'll go ahead and let you go. I really appreciate it. And hopefully maybe we can Stu can sneak you out again sometime soon before the season starts.
All right.
Let me say one thing, and thank you, George. I also appreciate you coming on. Listen, you guys watching this, FloridaHockeyNow.com. If you're not signed up to read George's articles, today.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got the best writer in the league, man, and the guy that's on the pulse of the Panthers. So
I appreciate all that are subscribing and reading all the stories. The numbers have been great. We're on an upward trend. I'm very happy with the way things are going. This has been an exciting off season, and we've got another week or 2 of excitement, so it's going to be fun. So yeah, come visit me, FloridaHockeyNow.com, at George Richards. Appreciate you guys, really do.
All right, thanks, bud. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
And listen, another thing, you guys, we love comments. So we've got a lot to talk about. Put your comments on here. If you like these videos, hit like, subscribe to Eric's channel. I still can't call you Flying Fluffy.
Stu is my agent. The check's in the mail.
Nah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have another special guest for you coming soon. So stay tuned.
Everybody stay tuned.
it's good to have connections.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, Stu, you stay on, but we're going to close for now. All right. And I'll chat with you a little bit after we're done here. Okay, bud? All right.
Sure.
All right, guys. We're going to get this edited and uploaded out to you. And tomorrow, you said Wayne Gretzky tomorrow, right?
Working on it.
Stu knows everybody, all right? He's got Bobby Orr and Wayne Gretzky coming on tomorrow. All right, guys. We'll see you. Bye.